It was May Day on the island of Sodor. There was still a bit of snow on the ground because of the harsh winter the railway and the island had experienced during the Christmas season. The Fing controller had called a meeting at the sheds. Now this year for May Day we're having a firework display at the Skarloey picnic area. And I'm putting these engines in charge of taking these fireworks. Now, these are highly explosive and this is a very important job. So, the engines that I've chosen are Duncan, Ivor Hugh, Peter Sam, and Rusty. As for everyone else, you shall be taking the people to the picnic area. May I mention also, once again, I am trusting you with a very important job, so please don't mess it up, he said.
Later that night, Rusty was waiting for the fireworks to come. Eventually, Douglas came in with them. The workmen started unloading the trucks of fireworks and putting the fireworks into Rusty's trucks. Oh, it's going to take you ages to unload all those fireworks into your trucks, Douglas said. Oh, really? I bet we'll finish in an hour. Look, so you say so? Well, we'll just have to see about that. Yes, we'll have to see indeed. Okay then. Eventually, they finally finished loading the fireworks onto the trucks. Douglas set off first along the main line back to timber sheds. As for Rusty, he set off back to the yards. It was 5 hours before the firework display would begin. Rusty, Peter Sam, Duncan and Ivor Hugh stood in the yard looking at the firework trucks that stood before them. I got the bad job as usual. So Handel just gets to get pulled the coaches because he just came back. Well, I was covered in coal and called a monster, but I don't get special treatment. Should be me who's taking the passengers. I've been working hard all this year. Can I just say something, Duncan? I did apologize for calling you that. Just making it clear and all. I know you did apologize. And the only reason why I believe that whatever the Black Lagoon thing is because you're so gullible. And anyways, I didn't accept your apology because the engine still teased me for a month about that accident. Gullible, I order. Now, let's not get into a fight, Rusty said. We're here to take the fireworks. Okay, Rusty, you're right. So, actually, when do we start taking them? Peter Sam asked. Right now would be nice, the Fing controller said, coming out of nowhere. All the engines jumped a little, if that was possible. Now, I just wanted to come here and warn you that these fireworks are highly easily lightable and, explosive. So I would really like you to be careful. The Fing controller's eyes turned to Duncan. So all the engines went off to get some firework trucks. Duncan, of course, covered up to the most. So the engines all set off. As Duncan set off, Rusty called out to him, "You sure we should be taking that much fireworks, Duncan? I mean, I've heard about this group of teenagers that are roaming around lately and I just want to get this job done and over with. You're like an overprotective parent," Duncan said as he left. Ivor Hugh showed up and came next to Rusty. "I think Duncan can be right sometimes," Ivor Hugh told Rusty. "So what, now you're on his side?" fumed Rusty. No, it's just that you can worry about him a bit too much. I mean, sometimes you just gotta worry about what you're doing and not what other engines or people are doing. That's a pretty good piece of advice. Yes, it is. Okay, I'll take that advice in the middle of my engine, Rusty said. "Oh, that's good. Well, I better be going now," Ivor Hugh replied. "These fireworks aren't going to live with themselves. he chuckled.
Stupid Rusty. He's like an overprotective parent. I'm a plain-speaking engine, and I can speak for myself, he grumbled as he bucketed and bounced along the line.
Hey, careful there, boy. You might light off a firework. You do know that these are highly explosive. You don't want to do any more rock and rolling. Remember what happened with the tunnel? But Duncan wasn't listening.
Duncan was rocketing along the line at a fast pace.
Duncan's driver tried to slow Duncan down, even though it was pointless. Then he looked out in horror and shouted, "Duncan, slow down! Red signal up ahead!" he yelled over the sound of the gushing wind.
And indeed, there was a red signal coming up, and it was coming up fast. Duncan tried putting his brakes on. As he did so, sparks flew everywhere. Duncan was able to stop just before the red signal. His driver and fireman were concerned. "I hope none of the fireworks were accidentally lighted," his fireman said. "Well, we better check all the trucks then. It'll take for ages." Just to be sure. You mean sure? Yes, I just couldn't find the word. Oh, okay then. Little did they know that in the what seemed abandoned hut not so far away, something was watching them. Something evil. A teenage girl around the age of 14 stared outside the window. "Hey, boss," said a boy who was around the age of 15. "What's the plan?" "Yeah, what's the plan? Why'd you bring us here to his hut so close to the railway?" "Yeah, man, what's the plan? What are you going to smuggle out this time?" "Fireworks," she said. "Fireworks? But we only deal with drugs." "I know, but imagine how happy boss would be if we gave him fireworks." "Oh, yeah, man, for like New Year's Eve and stuff." "Yeah, we might even get upgraded." "Oh yeah, I'd really like to be upgraded." "Yeah, me too." "Yeah, like me too, man. All of us do." "So what's the plan?" "Well, when those two Neanderthals, or whatever their name is, reach the end of the train, we go there, sneak over there, take all the fireworks, put them into the truck, and go back to the boss's base. Good idea, but we need to not get caught." "All right, so here's the plan," she said. The group all suddenly went into a massive group of hushes and whispers. Eventually, Duncan's driver and fireman reached the last truck of the train. The teenagers silently crept down and opened up the first truck to look inside. As for Duncan's driver and fireman, they didn't notice anything. They were too busy inspecting the last truck to make sure no fireworks were lit. Duncan was too busy worrying to notice the teenagers about what the thing controller would do. Last time this had happened, he remembered what he said about cutting him down the size. He hadn't known what it meant back then, but now he did, and he was quite worried what if he did do it. No one noticed that they were there until one of them accidentally fell over and the fireworks fell out of the box. All suddenly, Duncan's driver and fireman said, "What was that?" "Better go inspect." "Yeah, we better." So the two quickly ran up to the front of the train. Then all suddenly, the teenagers quickly ran back to their crumbling hut, and so Duncan's driver and fireman followed them. The teenagers quickly ran back to their hut, started up the lorry, which was crammed full of fireworks, and drove off. "Darn it, they got away," Duncan's fireman said. "There's no way you can catch them now." "Oh, I know a way," Duncan said. "What, really?" "Yeah, you just got to make me go as fast as I can." "But remember what happened last time that happened?" "Look, they've already unloaded the first two trucks." "Okay, take me to a level crossing, and fast." Okay then."
The lorry zoomed along the roads and lanes, dodging cars and lorries. Duncan was racing along the line until he reached the red signal. "Come on, move," he said, but the signal didn't. Eventually, it did, and Duncan raced off back along the line. But Duncan was going much more faster than the lorry itself. The lorry started going up a hill, but they couldn't get up because there was too many fireworks. "Come on, put the key in. We need to get up." "Sorry, come on," she said as he put the key in. He roared back into life, and then they climbed up the hill. Duncan soon reached the crossing by Glenrock Station. Duncan, why is there the crossing? The vehicles can't get through." "You'll see," Duncan said with a smile on his face. The lorry was approaching fastly. "How that steam engine get here so fast?" "Doesn't matter, put the brakes on," screamed one of them. But instead of putting the brakes on, she swerved the lorry and crashed. The 4 teenagers stumbled out of the lorry. Duncan's driving firemen were astonished. "How did you?" "Doesn't matter. We need to call the police now," Duncan said. All 4 of the teenagers were questioned, and all 4 of them luckily were arrested. Also, the police even went on to ask Duncan's driving firemen their side of the story, and even Duncan in the truck's side as well. All of them came out with the same story, that they had taken the fireworks. After all the teenagers had been arrested, one of the policemen strolled over to Duncan. "Duncan, there was something very heroic and smart you did. How did you think up of using yourself as a roadblock?" "Well, when I was speeding along the line, I came to a red signal and I nearly passed it. So I thought that if I blocked them, that they couldn't get through." "You mean it'd be like a roadblock?" Yes, exactly." Interesting. "Anyways, while duty calls, I better go," he said, and he strolled off. Duncan finally reached the picnic area, and there was, well, the thing controller. "Oh, sir, I'm sorry about nearly lighting a firework, and..." "Doesn't matter, Duncan. You did something very heroic and proved yourself that you are really to enjoy the credit to my railway." "Why, thank you." "Anyways, those thief teenagers are in fact part of an illegal drug smuggling scandal that's been going on. Turns out her uncle is the leader." "Oh, now I've got a lead, so well done. I'll let that firework thing slide, but don't think you can get away with it that easily. "Oh, okay then, sir. Now, you better go back to the sheds and maybe take a rest after all this experience. Then come back for the fireworks." "Oh, of course I will," Duncan said. Rusty was only showed up. Duncan, I'm sorry for kind of being a bit overprotective about how many fireworks he took. I mean, I can't believe you were able to catch all those teenagers." "Oh, it was nothing," Duncan said. "No, really, I'm sorry." "Oh, okay, I'll accept your apology." "Thanks. Well, you better be getting back after your experience." "Oh, okay then. I better get going," Duncan said. "Me too. I better tell the others. I better tell either of you about this." "But what?" "Oh, nothing," Rusty said. It was the morning after the fireworks display. Duncan felt like there was something underneath him. "Oh, I feel like there's something underneath me," he yawned. It's probably a lump of coal. Maybe till later," the handle said lazily. "But some of us are trying to get some sleep here," the handle replied grumpily. They had all stayed late up last night to watch the fireworks. Later that morning, when Duncan's driving fireman came, they pulled out a small crate from underneath him, and inside it there was something golden and shining. "Oh, bless my soul," said his fireman. You got a medal from the police, helping catch those crooks. Duncan blushed. Oh, it's nothing. No, you're famous now, he said. They placed the medal around Duncan's funnel. Well, Duncan, I guess you really deserve this for working hard all year, Rusty said. Duncan blushed. 3 cheers for Duncan for capturing the crooks. Everyone cheered, whistled, and horned and blew their horns. Duncan even went a more darker red shade of red. He was more likely even redder than Skarloey's paint. What does it even say? Sandal asked. Let's see, Sandal's driver said. It says, to Duncan, locomotive number 6 of Skarloey Railway, for helping capture some leads onto a drug smuggling scandal, and also capturing them. Aww. It is sad to say, after Duncan got his medal, he got a bit cocky about the whole incident. Some passengers even just showed up to see Duncan, and there was a rather large fight just to book a seat on the train that Duncan was taking. The passengers swarmed him around Duncan, trying to ask him to tell them the story from his perspective. Duncan, in the first week, Duncan told the original story, but then by 2 weeks later, he was telling a story about bombs, a massive robot called Randy, and also that the teenagers had scrapped his father. The only thing that was actually true in this version of the story was that he captured them, and he came up with the plan. Oh, most of them didn't believe Duncan, so his crowds became smaller and smaller over time. Eventually, even all the engines were sick and tired of Duncan's story. Most of them went to the back of the shed, and so they couldn't hear Duncan. As for the unlucky 2 who couldn't fit in the shed, they went and slipped in a slate quarry. Soon, all the engines had a meeting without Duncan. They all talked about it. It's just like Sahad when his steamroller wheels, Rusty said. Sahad blushed. Could you please not mention about that? All right, Sahad. Peter Sam chuckled. So anyways, if this is exactly like George, then wait a minute, I think I know how to teach him a lesson, Skarloey said. All the engines went into whispers, and then eventually Skarloey came out saying, well, we'll do it. But that is another story. Boss, got really important news for you. Can't you see I'm in the middle of a meeting? No, it's not that. It's really important. What is it? Niece. Sally? Yes, what about her? She's been captured. Look in this report. He threw a copy of a newspaper across the table. Yesterday, a possible link to the latest drug scandal has been captured thanks to the help of a locomotive from the Skarloey Railway named Duncan. They were captured when the lorry, which they stole off some fireworks with, crashed, and they were arrested by police. He read the whole thing out loud. When he reached the end, he said, "Sir, Skarloey Railway, can I have a map, and could you please show me where it is?" "Oh, sure," one of his henchmen said. So he brought out a map and showed them. "As you can see, we are here," he said, pointing to Barrow and Furness. "And the railway is over here, which starts at Crowton's Gate, which goes along the line and ends at Skarloey. Now, Glenelg, around here, was where your niece was arrested," he said. "So, boss, you do have a plan, right? You're not going to let this slide?" "Oh, of course I do. That railway's going to be closed down before you can say presto, and there'll be no chance of reopening it. So you have a plan?" "Of course I do. And that railway will pay dearly for their mistakes."
he said, and he ended his speech with a hollow laugh. The other two henchmen also laughed as well. Could you please stop that, you two blubbering, you fools? The main leader said. It only works when I do it. Sorry. So, when is Plan even going to go into action? You'll have to wait a couple of months. It'll take a long time to plan it, but it'll be good. Sweet, sweet victory, or should I say sweet, sweet revenge, he said. And he laughed again. I should really go see that doctor, he muttered.